I'm going out tonight, so I am going to go a little bolder with my makeup. And I'm not just going out, I'm also going to be on stage. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a vocalist and I am in a couple of bands. Tonight in particular, we are playing a holiday party. I'm going to do my whole face with the 3D brush that I just showed you, and now I am going straight into the balm on my under eyes. I'm always singing the praises of this Seint Balm that conveniently just fits into the palette. I generally like balms for the under eyes as opposed to an eye cream, and this helps the makeup glide on so effortlessly and just look flawless, which I definitely need for the under eye area. So now I am going into my main highlight, which is my main foundation. I am in between shades now, so I am mixing two of my shades together. Now, of course, this is my personal palette with my shades customized to me. In order to get a palette for you, you would need to get a color match. All of my info is down below. You can text me. That is the easiest way to communicate with me. We could talk about getting a color match, or you could go on my link tree where my color match form is, and you could fill out all the info and I will put together your custom shades. I love how this glides so easily, and you can see I have acne scars, especially on this side, and this cream makeup just sits on the skin so beautifully. It looks like a second skin, but it's so supple and glowy. I just can't get over it. I just love looking at it after I put it on all the time. The finish is impeccable, and my last video I was talking about how I just was not happy with my makeup anymore with the traditional water-based foundation and concealer. It just was not cutting it, not sitting on my skin right. And since I discovered Seint, now it's been over a year and I have not looked back. I am still sticking with this system, and I see just how much of a difference it makes in my customer skin, family and friends. I am overjoyed. Now this here, I am actually going into demi, and this is not the way you've seen me do demi before. I usually use a smaller brush, but with this 3D brush, if you can see, I put on the tiniest bit and it literally takes seconds, and I just smooth and buff it in, because for me personally, one color does it. Not everybody can just use one color demi, and we would figure that out for you, how to navigate what color correction you need. But for me, I just discovered doing this with the very tip of my 3D brush and smoothing it on and buffing it in, and I'm really, really happy with it. On my eyelids, I'm just going in with my highlight shade. I do have an eye primer underneath just to prevent any creasing, but this is just to keep the shade on my eyelids uniform with the rest of my skin. I love the dome shape edge of the 3D brush, especially around my eyes. It just smooths and buffs everything in so effortlessly. And now I'm just using my fingers to tap out any harsh edges that may have been left behind. And also what I have on my lips right now, this is a lip stain. I actually got this on Amazon. It's a Korean brand. I'm going to link it down below. And it is a peel-off lip stain. I love it. And I already have my mascara on. This is Merit Beauty. I'm trying to show you the packaging and the writing. Okay, now I'm just going to go right into my Vanilla Dust setting powder that I've said before conveniently fits into the palette. I love having this handy, and this just really helps to set, especially on my eyes, so I don't get any creasing. And again, I could never get over the glow. This is just the cream makeup by itself. Okay, now I'm going to go into the contour portion, which is in the title of my video. I am contouring with the lip and cheek and not with a contour. This is Renaissance, and you can tell it's kind of like it looks very 90s to me. This is one of my favorite cheek shades, lip and cheek shades, and it is now in the permanent line, which everybody is super excited about. It was very highly requested, but I wanted to see if I could do this as a contour, kind of almost like an 80s look, because I am going a little bit more bold with my makeup tonight, like I said, but I don't want to get too crazy because it's more of like an intimate setting, but I still wanted to try this contour technique with a lip and cheek color. Now this is the Bella bronzer, my absolute favorite, and As I always say, the bronzer goes on the top of the cheekbones where the sun naturally hits. So I'm just going around the perimeter of my face. And this is where I had Candlelit in the middle of my forehead. And then I left it unblended so I could blend it into the bronzer. And as you can see, it looks really nice and seamless on my forehead now. And now I am just tapping in the bronzer. So now I'm a little bit more warmed up. And it's looking pretty nice. And I am going to go back in with that Renaissance because I really want that kind of like that maroon shade to show a little bit more. I really like how this turned out. It looked so pretty, especially in person. And it's really interesting because Renaissance in particular, it does have kind of like almost like a fuchsia maroon undertone, but there's something in it once you blend it out, and with the bronzer it does kind of still look like a contour, but it has that berry undertone. And I'm trying to drape this up on my temples, but not too much on my temples. I still want it to be more like a contour, and this just gives me the idea. It's kind of like an 80s like David Bowie situation, and I'm still trying to keep it a little bit more subtle like I said before, but I definitely am very happy that it did show up and I could see the color on my contour line. Now I just showed you the neutral red demi. I always do this at the very end. This is a new discovery, and I found that this has been working out well for a lot of the color matches that I've been doing for light to medium skin tones, and it just really helps to cancel out any darkness poking through at the end of makeup application. Now, of course, you can tell I did an eye look. I actually did it as a separate tutorial, which I will be uploading soon. And I am just checking out that contour that I just did. I'm really, really liking it. And now I'm putting on a little bit of Illuminator. And this is Honey Illuminator, a little bit more on the gold side. And just to give a little bit more of a lit from within kind of glow, a little more subtle. And now somebody stop me because I'm putting more on. I just could not get enough of the effect that I got from this. And I'm happy to say, because I did kind of layer on a couple times, maybe I think it was 3 times, and it lasted all evening, and it just looked so pretty. And even though I'm going over that illuminator, I still have that lit from within glow. And now I'm just going to add a little bit to my lips on top of that lip stain, just to kind of darken it a little bit. I could have gone a little bit more dark, but I still wanted to keep like more of a holiday red lip, so I just deepened it a little bit. Okay, so that is it. I am ready to go for the evening. I really love the way this worked out. Again, all of my information is below. Text me so we can talk about your color match.